The Spy Who Loved Me 64 is still in development. I figured I'd make a little video to tide over until we were able to create the next patch. The original plan was to release the demo of the first 3 levels and then either release the next few levels or wait until all levels are playable and then release that build. Whatever the case, the next installment's going to be a while. I figured I would go over some of the concept art that I made for the game, a mixture of storyboards, intros, outros, and various other pictures. I'll start with the level pictures. Some of these pictures are still placeholders in the game. For level 1, just wanted a cabin up in the Alps. The second level, I had 2 pictures for. In the first, I was thinking about giving Sheikh Hussein royal guards, but that concept got scrapped. Here is a better picture as to what they would have looked like. The other level 2 picture is more generic, just showing tents from a top view. Level 3 I had 2 concepts for. The first being Fekish's bed, which is now in the current build, and a picture of Fekish's nightstand. You will see a letter and a picture. One of the objectives was to collect a letter containing information to Max Calva. This was changed to a staff list as I wasn't sure how well the letter would work. Level 4 is simply the Sphinx next to the pyramids. The level is now playable, and the picture at the moment is pretty similar. Level 5 is the front of the Majamba Club. Like level 4, playable, and very similar picture. Level 6 is a fun one. Essentially, the last bonus level in GoldenEye is this very temple. However, it will get a redesign, and instead of fighting Baron Samedi, you will be taking on Jaws. As such, the picture is pretty similar to the GoldenEye one. The headcanon for level 7 is that once you escape from Jaws, he sends several henchmen to pursue you into the desert. They will be the same guards as in level 2. Level 8 is an attempt to make a first-person shooter level out of the Q-Lab scene.
Bring tears to your eyes.
This level is playable, however the picture is more of a hallway than the lab itself. Levels 9 and 10 are pretty similar in the final version. The train is remodeled in level 9. In level 10, the boat is completely different. The original idea is that the player would have to board a barge, and that's how Bond would get to Sardinia. After some time, I then thought, who would be the captain of this ship? Some guy that'd be bribed, or someone Bond knew. Then the concept of Quarrel Jr. being the captain came to be. Similar thing happened in level 9. Bond would have to meet a contact on board the train. But who? I was originally thinking about Vivian Michel, the main protagonist of the book. However, after putting Quarrel Jr. in it, it only seemed fitting to put Felix Leiter instead. They seemed like a package deal. Level 11 is Stromberg's laboratory, specifically the room where Bond meets him. Level 12 is probably the most iconic scene from the movie, the part where the White Lotus goes into the water. Level 13 is the player being in the water to look around. Level 14 is another headcanon. For level 12, it was decided to have Anya not be in the passenger seat of the car, since she would just kind of be a lifeless dummy the whole time. To get around this, Bond and Anya took separate routes back to the hotel to avoid being followed. Then, they would rendezvous at level 14. Level 15 is the submarine, which gets eaten up by the Lepars. Originally, I was thinking about having the picture be an exterior model, but it later became another hallway shot. This is another level that's playable, but seems to crash on console. Still trying to figure that part out. Level 16 is the Lepars Control Center. Literally the hardest level to make in the entire game. It's now to a point where you can actually walk in it, but that's about it. Level 17, Bond has to escape with Atlantis on a jet ski, which I feel wasn't drawn very well here. Level 18 here. It's pretty similar to 15, how I was hoping to have an exterior model for the picture, but instead the picture is now the shark pool. This level is about 95% complete. However, I made sure to block this level off. It would seem a little weird to just be able to jump to the last level, kind of destroy the integrity of the story and all that. Is Scaramanga's Funhouse, which the groundwork being laid for right now actually. Level 20 is the Skyfall Mansion. Fun thing to note, both of the music tracks in these levels have already been composed. At the beginning of each mission, little scenes of the level will be shown to the player before going into Bond's head. It always bothered me that the silo only ever had one. So as a rule, I want at least 3 for each level. The first one here is pretty identical to the one that is in the game already. The guard is just facing a different way. Second is a small cluster of guards, followed by a view from the very end of the level. Level 2, we see the Royal Guards again, followed by guards on top of the weapons cache, and a guard in a tent. Crazy thing is, 2 out of the 3 are still in the game. Level 3, I wanted Sandor to play the same animation the guard does for the streets. Since I couldn't figure it out, he just stands there. The second picture is supposed to be what Sandor is seeing. The third is the final area of the boss fight. The perspective has been changed, but it's still in the same spot. Level 4, we see my true-to-life Sphinx again, and a short animation of Jaws killing Fekesh, followed by another guard inside a temple. The first 2 are still there, with the third being replaced with a swarm of guards. Level 5 is pretty much the same, a picture of Kalba, the front entrance, and the bartender. As we took the time to make a special model for this bartender, I wanted to give him a little more screen time. Level 6, a picture of Jaws, similar to Aztec, guards around a pillar, and an aerial view, similar to Egypt. In level 7, there would be several sand dunes with guards and drone guns on top. This is a back view. The second being Anya and Bond getting into the van. The third is the end of the level, the boat that Bond uses to get back to Cairo. The first picture for level 8 has been scrapped. When creating the level, I was debating if it should take place exclusively in the temple, or if the player has to go inside it. It made more sense to keep it in the temple. I intended to have a wall showing all the weapons in the game. It may still be possible, but has not been made yet. Third is a firing range, which is still in the current version. For level 9, I was thinking about having an opening where Bond and Anya talk, and Anya leaves the room. Ultimately, this got scrapped. The second picture is a guard ready to pop out from a door. This one is reversed, but the picture still does exist. The final is of the contact, still unknown at this stage. I originally intended for the contact to be in the dining car. However, it made more sense to put the contact at the end of the train. Level 10 has had some reworking from the original design, as I mentioned before. I wanted to place snipers in a few of the windows, but such a thing doesn't work well in the GoldenEye engine. The second and third pictures still exist. The second is a guard at the ticket counter from behind. The third are 2 men guarding the terminal. Level 11's pictures are mostly models the player has to photograph. The first being the Atlantis prototype, the second being the Laparis prototype, and the third is a little different, a file room the player has to sneak into. Level 12 shows one beta element. I wasn't sure if an on-rail level could be done in GoldenEye, so I figured guards with drone guns would work better. However, it's just guards now. The other 2 are pretty self-explanatory. This level is pretty special as I want to add a mid-tro, so to speak. I wanted to recreate the famous scene where Jaws' car crashes through some guy's house. Fun fact, my friend's wife majored in Italian and was able to not only provide an English translation, but also the original Italian.
Mamma mia che è successo! Oddio, tutto distrutto!
Level 13, pretty straightforward. I don't know what it is, but I'm proud of that scuba guard. Level 14, we see the receptionist, the sniper at the window, and the doors of the hotel. Since the sniper didn't work for level 10, they probably won't be used here. Level 15 is pretty similar to 11, as it shows all the objectives to complete, taking over the engine room, taking over the radio, and freeing hostages. Level 16, I was feeling very cinematic with. First, a prison cell with patrolling guards. Second is the railing overlooking the water. The third is the sub that the player would eventually escape in. Level 17 looks like it may need explanation. For the first picture, Stromberg sees the submarine explode, then smashes his hand on the keyboard. Just kind of thought of a headcanon for this. Head slamming could be the self-destruction of the Leparis. The second is Atlantis, which is surrounded by custom drone guns. The third is a soldier guarding Bond's jet ski. Crazy thing for 18 is that it's pretty much the same. Jaws standing with 2 MAC-10s, and an aerial shot of the shark tank. The third has been replaced with a guard in front of the door. Exterior model shots such as these are very difficult. Level 19 is pretty self-explanatory, with the exception of the last one. It's supposed to be Scaramanga's junk, I believe they call it. Same here for level 20. The last picture are the graves of James Bond's parents. Before I show you the outros, I figure I'll just show you a brief little picture here, the animations that Bond does before the camera goes right into his head. I'll end with showing the outros. The end of level 1 is pretty much the same. Level 2 I have under several drawings, but they are pretty much what's in the final version. Same with level 3. The first one of level 4 is pretty simple, however the second one is more in line with the final. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory, so I'll stop on the ones that need explaining. Level 7 here has 2 different endings. In the movie, Anya knocks out Bond with a fake cigarette. However, there's a lot of sensitivity about smoking, plus I don't know how well it would look in the game. The other idea is to have Anya pull out a dart gun instead. Same exterior model as the Beretta Min-X to give some suspense. Level 9 is a little hard to make out. I wanted Bond to kick Jaws out of the train, then to have dialogue begin. As this is rather hard to animate, Jaws going out the window is done only through sound effects. Level 10 was originally going to be the barge going away. This was redone here. Sorry about the size. One of 2 things would have happened. Either 3 guards would run to the end of the pier and then shoot, or a tall lone figure would shoot. Then the camera would pan around to reveal its Jaws, telling the player that he did not die on the train, as well as being the one that put the hit out on Bond. Level 11 I planned to be similar to the facility with 2 endings. On Double O Agent, a guard would notice the file room has been broken into. He then runs to tell Stromberg, who gives the order to kill Bond. For Agent and Secret Agent, we see Jaws come in. Stromberg asks, were they the ones on the train? Jaws will bow, and then Stromberg will give the order to kill. 12 has 2 of them. A simple one where the car only drives off, then another where the car also transforms and takes out the chopper. 13, the car drives up, Bond lowers the window, and throws out a fish to only drive on. I'm not sure how easy this can be done in engines, so the car will most likely just drive out of the water. Level 14 is a dialogue-heavy scene. Still trying to figure out how to make it more interesting than just Bond and Anya staring at each other for like 5 minutes. For level 15, Bond and Anya will get out to the submarine, walk around, and then be taken hostage by several troops. Similar to the end of Surface 2. Level 16, I have the idea of 2 segments. First is seeing the sub explode. Then Bond would walk over to Commander Carter, where he would say, "We did it." Level 17 will have Bond pointing the gun at Stromberg, asking, "Where is Anya?" The camera will fade out, and Stromberg says,
"Détente indeed."
The plan for level 18 would be to rig the exploding chair, then the player would resume the controls and battle Stromberg. Level 18 I had 2 ideas. The first is having Atlantis explode. The second is the one that's currently in the game, and I don't feel like spoiling it. Level 19 will be really simple. 19 is just the junk sailing away. 20 has two ideas. The first being Bond kneeling over M's body and delivering dialogue. However, I like the second one better. Bond and M just talk, and then they run out of the church. I know it's not authentic to the film, but it won't make the player feel like they wasted their time in trying to save her. Well, that's all I got for concept art. I hope that I can maybe show some of these other levels that I talked about in the near future. Till next time, keep having fun.